Folks, we've got a very exciting video today. We've got Ruhan, the green grobbler. This is take 2. We tried to do this last week and it didn't pan out so well. So we're going to do it again. In this video, we're going to be going through how we're able to make such high-level creatives in a very efficient way using AI systems and prompts that we've developed over the last 6 months. Ruhan, I'm going to get you to share your screen. I'm going to make sure that I ask the questions that an e-commerce brand owner would ask if there is anything that isn't 100% clear. So by the end of this video, if you're not a creative strategist and you don't have that creative muscle in your brain, at least by the end of this video, you will still be able to come up with some winning ad concepts. So Ruhan, do you want to take it away? Share your screen, do what you got to do, and I'll jump in.
Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, so tonight we'll be working with 2 products and we're going to grade 10 images per product and we're going to do 3 concepts per product. So before I dive into why we create certain images for these products, then I'm just going to start and we can run the prompt and then we can walk you through everything. So I'm just going to start by sharing my screen quickly.
Cool. And let's just give a bit of context on the products as well. We see myself a million times there. Cool. So what are the 2 products that we're going to be promoting?
One is a parasite cleanse and one is an electrolyte. Before I dive too deep into those 2 products, I'm just going to start the prompt and then we can look at the product pages and then the concepts that we are designing for. Are you ready? Can I start the prompts
Let's
along?
rock and roll. Yeah, let me
cool.
Let me put a little stopwatch on. Let's see how long it takes us. Have a bit of fun with it. Okay, cool. Okay, sign it.
Technical error again.
Technicality. That's all good. It happens. Let me reset the timer. But yeah, put this prompt in and then we'll walk through the prompt. I know that you are an absolute prompt wizard, so understanding the thought process would be good as well. But yeah, go ahead and retry
100%.
that. What is the actual prompt that you've put in there? So you've just put in go.
So I've first, before we started, I've done some product research just to save some time. And this is the prompts Claude writes for me. So just to give a bit of context, Claude is good in writing prompts and Higgsfield is good in designing. So Claude itself, it doesn't produce as high quality designs. Let's just ensure that the prompt is working. It's working. So like I said, we can see it's quite detailed prompts that Claude writes. And to write prompts like this yourself, I don't think I would write as in detail as Claude writes. So this skill and this prompt is built on something I've built myself, this skill. So let's just backtrack to where it started. So it all started with product research.
Just to give context as well, while you're finding that on a skill, most of you watching this might already know, but a skill essentially is just a pre-recorded bit of context that we can give to, in this case, Claude, so that it runs a consistent prompt. So we're not having to do it from scratch every single time, but instead it's developed the skill of being able to run that same kind of search that we're looking for. So in this case, you made a skill, you've given it a bit of context, and then it's pulled research and provided you very clear prompts on what is required as the next step to put into Higgsfield, which is another AI tool. And then that will give us the static ads that we're looking for. Is that right?
100%. Yeah. So yeah, this prompt actually took a while to perfect because obviously, firstly, you can't just start by asking Claude to design or Higgsfield to design your images. You get AI slop. So yeah, I've perfected the skill over few iterations, and obviously from what we take and learn here at the agency and see what works on other brands, and to ensure that we use designs that capture the ideal personas. So I just want to quickly touch on the concepts of this product. So first we have the hydration blend, and this is an electrolyte. So obviously the reason why we dive into different concepts is it's not just, we can't just continue selling this as an electrolyte product because then we're only focusing on one singular person. There's different reasons why people buy these products. So for example, we've got the majority of the audience is going to be people that think water is enough. That's the major market. People that deal with headaches and also crashes throughout the day. And then we also have people that replaces their sport drinks. It's a better alternative to electrolyte product. So that's a whole different conversation we're having with a customer. Then we also have the person this product has BCAAs in, so that's more for recovery. So that opens another conversation. So it's having multiple conversations with your designs with one product. So that helps us to scale, and you can't predict which concept. We obviously do research and understand the market as the best we can, but we can't always predict what the best persona or concept would be. That's also why we do this mass creative designs where we generate so many statics so that we can test and see it. Let me just quickly jump back to the skill. Perhaps you already finished the design so that we can stop that timer.
Just to stop you there as well. Yeah, if I need to stop the timer, let me know. But just to make sure it's super clear for everybody. So the more personas we have, the more potential we get out of a product. So if you have a product that helps only one type of person, you're going to run out of marketing angles and you're not going to be able to scale in the way that most people want to scale their e-com brands. Whereas if we can look at the same product and think about all of the different consumer groups that we can benefit through this exact same product, now we open up so many different avenues to be able to sell to all of these different audiences. And ultimately, that's how we can scale an account. So that's why it's important to split test. As Ruhan was saying, you might think your customer type is audience A, and that is your best customer group. When actually, when you test it, you might see that all of the ads that are going after audience C, that ends up being the highest performing and most profitable audience to sell to. So definitely don't pigeonhole your brand into thinking we help this one person with this one thing, because you will be shooting yourself in the foot. Do I need to stop the timer? Is this the first batch? Okay, cool. That was 5 minutes.
How long is that? 5 minutes.
5 minutes and 26 seconds. Yeah.
Okay, for 20 images.
Yeah,
Okay,
before you go through this,
yes.
Yeah, just go through the prompts, because I feel like we went over that quite quickly, but I think it is an important understanding. So what did the prompt look like in order to generate this level of static? Could you just show us, break it down, please?
100%. Yeah, before we look into the statics and the prompt, also just want to finish off the parasite. So for the concepts, we are focusing on the parasite for this round is people that struggle with bloating, and then this is also a protocol. So we can focus on people that struggles to finish a protocol. And then we also have the herbal purists those are people that are focused more on the ingredients of their products. So when we look at the designs, we must also just keep this into consideration. And then looking at the prompt. So I'll quickly ask my skill to break down. Can you break down how the skill is built and what the guidelines of the skill is?
You got skills making skills that help you with skills.
Yes, so remember this skill already has the guidelines built into it. So this prompt over here does not give the brief like you would want me to show it. So it's going to give it now. But just to jump back to the start. So the first thing we've done is I've provided the product URLs, and then we dove down into the concepts that we want to focus on. So the 3 winning products for the parasite cleanse was the bloating, the 20-day protocol, and the herbal purist. And then the electrolyte was that the water is not enough, and sports drink switch and recovery stack. And then what's baked into the skill. So the core idea of the skill is it uses Nano Banana Pro, which is the best image generator on Higgsfield. And then basically it scans the product page, does product research. It also goes into Ask Reddit. So it goes into and search certain pain points that people are struggling with, because obviously Reddit is a platform where people speak more openly of what they're dealing with, so it understands the personas better. It really does a deep dive into the product. And that helps us not just to generate designs that wouldn't resonate with ideal customers. So it's basically the skill is just doing product research in depth.
Just to give a bit of context on that as well, obviously we're bringing in other AI tools like Higgsfield and Nano Banana. Now these are integrated within Claude. This video isn't actually a tutorial on how to set it up. If you comment skills in capital letters on this video, make sure you're subscribed. We will be able to send you a document which runs through exactly which buttons to press, how to connect it so everything is integrated, so that you're not having to go from one platform to the next platform to the next platform, but instead it's all in Claude. You ask Claude the exact prompts with the exact skills, and it will feed in with the other AI platforms and deliver the result. So as you can see, these have now integrated into Higgsfield, but we've been able to create these without even going at all onto the Higgsfield website, just through the integration. So we can help you with that. These are the two products that we've been promoting. As Ruhan mentioned, we've got the parasite cleanse and we've got the electrolyte drink as well. Just go back to the prompts for one moment. Ruhan, I just want to have a look at something, make sure we've covered all the bases. Go right up to the top to the very, very first prompt, please.
To the very first.
Yeah, literally the very first. Yeah, cool. So yeah, you can see here. So we haven't necessarily even given Claude the concepts that we're looking to test. A lot of people think that they have to have the right idea before they even enter this process. As long as you can give the right context, like what is it we're looking to do? What are the website links of the products that we're promoting? If there's any other context, for example, if you already know that going after sport athletes has not been a profitable channel for you, then make sure you give it that context, so you're not just creating more of the ads that haven't really done well. The more context you can provide, the better. Now, Ruhan has hooked this up, like he said, so that it plugs in with even Ask Reddit. So if we want to understand macro data on how our customer thinks when it relates to this kind of product in this industry, then it's not just basing it off what AI thinks is good, but it's actually looking at all of the data. So we can help with these skills. It's probably too short of a video right now to go through all of that detail. But yeah, go ahead, Ruhan. I didn't want to go to move on without really giving that full context, but yeah, let's have a look at the ads.
Yeah, no
Let's
problem.
see what we're working with.
Just to add a little bit more context, so this is the back end of the skill. So you'll see, I'm just going to scroll through. It's a lot to read through. Like I said, it's been a process in itself building the skill. So this is what is the actual prompt. But obviously, this I can use with a shortcut now, and I just use it's called Higgs image, which I use, and then it uses my actual prompt, which I've built over a period of time. So it's quite an extensive skill.
And this didn't take 5 minutes and 26 seconds to build. That is the output once you've already built that, just to be clear.
Okay, so I'm just downloading each image because the design quality increases if I view it on my computer itself.
Cool. Let's go through to begin with. Let's do 3 of each and let's have a look.
To start off with, so this one over here is I call it a authentic Instagram style. So this is more like a person posting an Instagram story, speaking to their followers. We've got this poll question up here. So just to also give some context, obviously we just created these images very quickly. Some of the designs might need some revisions, but let's use this call to analyze the hooks and give the creatives a score.
Okay, who's going first?
I'll hand the first rating to you.
Okay, I thought you were going to take it then. Okay, cool. I'm going to give this one a 6. I think it could be improved. There are elements of it that I like. So I like the fact that it has specificity. So it's day 6 of the gut reset. It's very different to if we say, take this and it will get rid of your bloating. Or if we say something very broad, like has shown to reduce bloating, right? It's not really persuasive. But if we say something like day 6, 2 p.m. bloat, we're now making that so specific that it becomes persuasive. So I like that. I would improve it by making that a bit of a bigger headline, making sure that somebody that's suffering with any bloating symptoms cannot physically go past this without understanding exactly what it's for. I also like that at the bottom, it's got a very natural, organic, authentic CTA. It's bloated after every meal, ? And you either just click yes or same here. Obviously, it's not a button, but if you're asking yourself that question and the answer is yes, you're more likely to actually just click out of curiosity. So I like it for those reasons. Like I said, I think it could be improved in terms of being a little bit more eye-catching and demanding your attention, but I'd give it a 6.
Yeah, I would agree with your rating. So mostly I would like the design to be a little bit better, but my thinking would be is that it gives real and authentic how do you pronounce it?
Authentic.
Authenticity. Here we go.
Yeah, authenticity there as well.
So obviously it's more describing the day, like you said, and also the style of the creative. It gives that authenticity, and then also it calls out a main pain point that people are struggling with, which is the bloating.
It's not screaming, this is a promotional post, buy here, shop now. It is quite natural. It doesn't invade your feed in the same way. You don't feel aggressively like you want to get rid of it and X on it straight away. So that's also a good sign.
Okay, so let's look at this. Is a ingredient / benefit focus, product focus style design with bloated by 2 p.m. again. So another pain point hook. We got some client benefits here: vegan, UK formulated, no fillers, no artificial colors, and a call to action. So I like the fact that it kind of describes what the next steps would be if you take this product. It's not just because there's a lot of products on the market. So for example, vegan capsules, if this was just the ingredient list, then it might not have been as strong, but it kind of describes the output that you would get from taking this product. The design is also, I'm happy with this design. I would give this, I would say a 7.
Okay, I'd give it a 6 again. Very similar, but I agree. If it was just the ingredients, people make the mistake of putting the ingredients on their ads and thinking that other people understand why that is an important feature of the product. Obviously, if you've gone through blood, sweat, and tears to craft the product, you probably know how important your ingredients are, but not everybody else will do if you're in most of the health and wellness industry specifically. I like the fact that it is specific. What I mentioned about the headline being bolder, it definitely is bolder in this one. You could argue, yeah, a 7 would make sense. I think the way that we would improve this even more is to just add some numbers and total crystal clear clarity around how much it helps. So, for example, supports digestive comfort. If you was to run a survey across, however many customers, and get hardcore data on how many people have reported that it's helped with these issues, that would make this ad just literally way more persuasive. It would turn it from a 6, 7 to an 8 or a 9. But yeah, I think it's a good, strong foundation. I'm sure if we gave the prompt the context of statistics, it would also spit that out. So happy with that.
Agreed. Yeah, I like that idea of adding more statistics to, for example, this digestion, how the improvement rate looks like. That would be strong.
Cool. Let's have a look at what we've got here. I'll pick one.
Can I just... Okay.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was just thinking, let's maybe flip through all and see which ones catch our eyes.
Okay, cool. Well, one's already caught my eye straight away. But okay. It's that one, a cleanse with an actual plan. On the left, second on the left. That's the one. Yeah.
Protocol.
So this one caught my eye. So I like this ad a lot. I like this a lot because a few reasons. I mean, you could argue that it helps with like people taking the product and not thinking it's an overnight thing. I like the specificity of it. I like that it's sold as a system because I think a system is more likely to sound like it works than if you just say, take this every day, it's good for you. It's just too broad. I like that actually it's quite high level, I suppose, is the thing that I'm trying to say. It doesn't have too much of a description on here, but it piques your interest enough for you to want to click on the next call to action to understand exactly what the plan is. One thing I would say that could improve it is it's not totally clear what the cleanse is, like what are we cleansing. So if in the background we had a disgusting parasite looking animation or something like that, I think that would help really make sure that it's crystal clear who it's for. But other than that, in terms of the actual creative, like I like this one a lot. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so agree. I like the steps. Also highlighting the main step where you start seeing improvements and the headline being bold. Good idea with adding the more context to it, what we're actually cleansing. That would be pushing it up to probably a 9 for this design for me, if we had to add that. One thing
Nice.
this
And
prompt
what are you
doesn't
giving it
want to
now?
do is, I would say, I would also give it an 8. One thing this AI Higgsfield doesn't want to do is it doesn't want to do like prohibited gangs stuff that violates the policies, like adding parasites and things like that. So that's just something we can add in manually.
Okay, so
And
if you want to
then,
live in the grey area, you want to break the rules a little bit, you're gonna have to take it off platform outside of the
yeah,
prompts.
also why we design these AI images and high volume of creators is also to understand what's working, speeding up the testing phase, and then also using our designer then to create better versions of these AI creations. That also works well for us.
100%. And before we wrap up the video, because I'm conscious we don't need to make it too long, I think we definitely brought home the point about the fact that you not being creative or having a graphic designer should not be a bottleneck and stop you creating bomb diggity ads that can actually perform. Now, as Ruhan mentioned, this isn't the answer to everything, and it will not get you 100% of the juice out of the squeeze, but it is more like a machine gun. So the way that we see AI in the role of the creative ecosystem and how we're using it internally is there are going to be ideas that you want to test, but it's not necessarily worth spending 2 weeks creating the perfect ad for and building out video concepts for example. What we can do here is we can use AI to create so much volume that it's almost unrealistic for us to not find winning concepts, personas, messages, and angles. That's why we call it the machine gun. And then once we find exactly what is working, what's showing some signs of promise, then we get our sniper rifle out, which is our graphic designer, it's our actors, it's UGC creators, and then we'll go and create more assets, whether it's video content, animated content, or just more in-depth, higher quality images. So yeah, I think this is useful. Like I said, this isn't a tutorial on exactly which buttons to click, but more to show you what is possible. And if that is something that you're interested in, then make sure you comment skills on this video and we'll send you an in-depth document on exactly what prompts to use and how to use and build the skills.